Good evening, it's 11 o'clock, and in just the next few hours, the state of Indiana is expected to carry out its first execution in 15 years. Joseph Corcoran will be put to death sometime between midnight and sunrise unless the governor steps in. Corcoran killed 4 men in Fort Wayne back in 1997, including his brother and future brother-in-law. Corcoran's attorneys argue their client should not be put to death because he's mentally ill and unable to understand the severity of his crimes. Tonight, our Logan Gay is taking a closer look at the death penalty debate here in Indiana and the last-minute efforts to stop the execution. Logan?
Dustin, Joseph Corcoran's attorneys have been fighting to spare his life up until his final hours. They even requested a stay of execution from the U.S. Supreme Court today, which was denied within the last hour. Their goal is clear: to prolong his life as long as they can.
Corcoran has sat on death row awaiting his fate. He was sentenced to death in 1999 for fatally shooting 4 people, including his brother, in 1997. Now he's scheduled to die by lethal injection in the hours between midnight and sunrise. And as the clock winds down, in a last-ditch effort to spare his life, his attorney submitted this request to the U.S. Supreme Court for a stay of execution.
We would ask the governor to grant clemency to Joe Corcoran. He has schizophrenia. He's seriously mentally ill. The states surrounding Indiana either don't allow for execution at all, or they bar the execution of people with serious mental illness.
Death penalty policy analyst Robert Dunham says Corcoran's mental illness is critical when considering the stay of execution.
To allow him to be executed without conducting an up-to-date, modern-day, to-the-minute hearing on what his mental state is something that we as the public should not accept.
Even though Indiana hasn't executed anyone in 15 years. In a recent interview, Governor Eric Holcomb said his thoughts on it haven't changed.
I still believe in capital punishment. I subscribe to that as a form of ultimate justice.
But Governor-elect Republican Senator Mike Braun has different thoughts.
So I've got mixed feelings on it. I think from a religious standpoint, a lot of that is turned against it, almost across the spectrum of denomination.
Because this execution is happening so close to the end of Holcomb's time in office, Dunham says he believes this decision should be made after the transition of power.
It makes sense to allow the next governor coming in time to take a look at the case and to determine whether he thinks this is how Indiana should start executions, if he thinks Indiana should start executions at all.
In an interview with the Associated Press, Corcoran's sister Kelly, whose brother and fiance were killed in the shooting, said she opposes the execution, saying there's no such thing as closure. As for Corcoran's attorney, she says they will keep fighting until his last breath.
We're a pro-life state, and barring executions is consistent with that position.
Yeah, again, that request to the U.S. Supreme Court to stay the execution was just denied. So Governor Holcomb is the last person who could put a stop to the death penalty in this case. After Corcoran's execution, Indiana's Attorney General will seek a date for the capital punishment of Benjamin Ritchie. He was convicted in the deadly shooting of a Beech Grove police officer 24 years ago.
All right, Logan, thank you. So who will be in the room when this execution happens? Well, according to Indiana law, the only people allowed to be present are the prison warden, those selected to assist in the execution, the prison physician, one additional physician, the condemned person's spiritual advisor, and the prison chaplain. A select number of friends or relatives are allowed to view the process from an adjacent room, along with up to 8 relatives of the victims. Indiana and Wyoming, by the way, are the only states that do not allow members of the media to witness state executions. That's according to a recent report by the Death Penalty Information Center. But we will be monitoring the process at the Indiana State Prison up in Michigan City. You'll be able to find any updates on WTHR.com overnight, and then of course on Sunrise starting at 4 a.m. A gun sale tonight in Indianapolis led to a shooting on the southwest side. This is just coming in. Here's what we've been able to confirm with Metro Police. This all unfolded a little before 9:30 on Canby Road. Police say they found a man who'd been shot at least once. He went to the hospital. He's now said to be stable. Investigators say obviously there was some sort of disturbance during that sale and then gunfire.
This is a good point to get out to people that if they are going to do any type of sales at night, they probably should consider doing it in a very well-lit area where there are other people around that can witness it. And quite frankly, I would recommend not doing it at night, doing it at daytime.
Police say no one is in custody at this hour. Anyone with information is urged to reach out to IMPD or Crime Stoppers.
I can't imagine what that family is going through today.
Frustration tonight from IMPD Chief Chris Bailey. A 14-year-old boy now under arrest for a stabbing that left a 14-year-old girl dead. Annabelle Trujillo was a freshman at Arsenal Tech. She was killed just blocks from her school. It was just after 9 o'clock yesterday morning when officers found her. Police tell us the suspect was taken into custody at the school and was transported to the Juvenile Detention Center. We're working to learn what led to this violence, but Chief Bailey says it's heartbreaking.
One life is gone, one is changed forever. Both families changed forever, a community changed forever, school, children impacted for that. It's devastating.
Our crew spoke with Annabelle's grandfather today. He wasn't ready to do an on-camera interview, but he told us Annabelle was a bright light and friends with everyone.
With increasing clouds, temperatures right now in the 30s for most of central Indiana. We will be concerned for the northern part of our viewing area as it will be cold enough for rain to mix with perhaps some sleet as we get into the early part of tomorrow. Just a couple of showers showing up on radar across the western part of the state, but you can see the weather system that is headed our way with rain that may mix with sleet north of I-70, expecting mainly wet roads for that Wednesday morning drive.
All right, Angela, thank you. We are getting a first look tonight at dramatic moments showing a baby getting thrown from a moving van during a police chase. Now, the baby is thankfully okay, but you can see it in this dash cam video highlighted by that white circle right there. Let's give you a closer look here. Police say a 32-year-old man was wanted on a warrant for vehicle theft out of Auburn, Indiana. He was spotted in Bryan, Ohio, which is just across the Indiana line, earlier this month. You can see an officer approach the van and talk with Zachary Chervinka. That's when Chervinka speeds off with the door open. And at some point during that chase, the baby boy in his car seat fell out of the van. You can see the moment the boy is reunited with his mom. Take a look here.
3620.
Oh my God! Baby boy! Baby boy!
We'll be on the curb on 127 at the stop sign with that child.
Mama's got you!
Keep him on the ground, keep him on the ground.
Oh, just heart-stopping. An officer and police canine tracked the suspect to an apartment complex in Edgerton, Ohio, which is about 15 miles away. New tonight, fiery moments inside the Indiana State House as lawmakers seek answers about that $1 billion shortfall uncovered in the Medicaid budget last year. Take a listen.
Outside of government, if somebody made a $1 billion mistake, you would have been fired and not retained and not rehired.
That was Republican State Senator Chris Garton questioning a representative for Milliman. That's the firm behind the numbers forecast that missed the mark. Officials attributed the Medicaid budget shortfall to unforeseen demand and exponential growth in certain services. That prompted a series of unpopular moves by the Family and Social Services Administration to cut costs. Well, today, lawmakers pressed Milliman about how that miscalculation could have happened and how to make sure it never happens again.
You're talking to Hoosier taxpayers right now. Explain to them how this happened, and explain to them how we can be assured that this isn't happening again right now before our eyes. What reassurance do we have as the fiscal body in charge of $44 billion of Hoosier taxpayer money?
Sir, I can tell you that this information is presented with great care, great time. We have spent the last 6 months together with FSSA working tirelessly to put together this forecast that you have in front of you.
Indiana's Medicaid director says she and others have committed the last year to ensuring improvements to the accuracy and reliability of the forecast. 2025 is a budget year for state lawmakers. That means when the General Assembly reconvenes in a couple of weeks, they'll be working on the next 2-year financial plan. Plans for a $250 million development in Noblesville is past another hurdle tonight. The Common Council just voted 6-3 to approve Morse Village. It's set to span 175 acres near 206th and Hague Road with housing, commercial space, and local restaurants. There are still additional steps before crews can break ground. Assuming it gets the final green lights, construction is set to begin sometime next year with work phased over 7 to 10 years.